Hey everybody, let's talk about the news. Today there's an article on the Gazette, woman forced to watch Roots to understand her racism, Cedar Rapids police say. A Cedar Rapids man was arrested Monday and is accused of holding a woman captive and forcing her to watch Roots, a 9-hour miniseries that chronicles author Alex Haley's family line from the capture and enslavement of his ancestor, Kunta Kinte, to the liberation of Kinte's descendants. Robert Lee Noy, 52, forced the woman to sit with him at a residence in the 700 block of 2nd Avenue SW and watch the series so she could better understand her racism, according to a criminal complaint. When she tried to move, Noy told her to, quote, remain seated and watch the movie with him, or he would kill her and spread her body parts across the Interstate 380 on the way to Chicago, the complaint said. Noy faces charges of first-degree harassment and false imprisonment. Really, the discrimination never ends. It's almost like Robert Noy is having to go through the same trials and tribulations of Kunta Kinte himself. This says a lot about society. Also, happy Black History Month, everybody. Most people like Christmas, but me, I prefer February, because it is the time of year where we can really appreciate all of the biggest and brightest minds of all of humankind. Just imagine if we didn't have February to dedicate to somebody. Alright, and next, we have a story featuring an opioid vending machine that is opening up in Canada. Canada, of all places, they see the opioid epidemic in America and say, we can do better. Opioid vending machine opens in Vancouver, and here's a little bit of the article. A vending machine for powerful opioids has opened in Canada as part of a project to help fight the Canadian city's overdose crisis. Seems a bit of a strange way to combat an overdose crisis. You would think it would do the exact opposite, but let's read on. The MySafe project, which resembles a cash machine, gives addicts access to a prescribed amount of medical quality hydromorphone, a drug about twice as powerful as heroin. Dr. Mark Tyndall, a professor of epidemiology at the University of British Columbia, came up with the project as part of an attempt to reduce the number of overdose deaths in the city, which reached 395 last year. I think ethically we need to offer people a safer source, he said. So basically the idea is that instead of buying unknown fentanyl from an alley, you can get people pharmaceutical-grade drugs. So how does that help with overdoses? I don't have the foggiest idea. If I had to guess, the idea would be that because their primary source would be from a more regulated dispenser, it would eventually drive out the black markets and guarantee that the addicts would have to go to one of these machines to get their meds. And at these machines, they have checks in place to make sure that you cannot get too much at one time. Still, this was a weird article to come across. Let's continue here. Unlike most addicts, Durbin, 66, does not have to break the law by sourcing his fix through drug dealers. Instead, he's prescribed Dilaudid, the brand name for hydromorphone, and for the past couple of weeks, has been able to collect his pills from a vending machine near his home in Eastside, a rundown neighborhood with a large homeless community. This is a godsend, he told The Guardian during one of his visits to the machine. After verifying his identity with a biometric fingerprint scan, the machine dispensed Durbin with 3 pills for each of his 4 daily visits in line with his prescription. It means I don't have to go and buy iffy dope, he said. I have a clean supply. I don't have to deal with other people so much. I also found it interesting that Dr. Mark Tyndall shared this article and had this to say. It is good to get media coverage at Guardian, but without stigmatizing language, addict. Also, counter-argument about methadone is simplistic, self-serving, and ludicrous. Over 12,000 Canadians have died in 3 years. Opioid vending machine opens in Vancouver. I was curious. I did a little bit of research to see if he was related in any way to a company that produces this pharmaceutical-grade drug, and I haven't been able to find anything. Maybe I missed it. But I wanted to see if there was a conflict of interest that was at least surface level, and I was unable to find it. Maybe his intentions are genuine. And last on this video, according to CNN, girls can join the Boy Scouts now, but not everyone is happy about it. Oh wait, that's February 1st, 2019. Let's see where we're at now. Oh, Boy Scouts of America files for bankruptcy amid hundreds of... Ooh. Yikes. I can't help but wonder, are these two things connected? It's only been a little over a year. Could it be? Could it be that this caused more problems than it solved? It says here in the article, we believe victims, we support them, we pay for counseling by a provider of their choice, and we encourage them to come forward. It is the Boy Scouts of America policy that all incidents of suspected abuse are reported to law enforcement, the organization said. Well, they believe survivors, so I don't know if this needs to be investigated any further. I guess I gotta end with a rhetorical question. Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?